Welcome back to Let's Both Play Resident Evil 5. I'm BurningDogFace,
And I'm Ronin Drake.
and today we're going to learn about the Ndipaya tribe. Once again, I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. The Ndipaya reside in unique wooden structures in the wetlands. Their advanced architectural techniques are used throughout the world to repair and maintain many damaged ancient ruins. This is how the world at large knows of the Ndipaya. But the Ndipaya possess a secret that they do not wish to share with the rest of the world. The ancient ruins of the Ndipaya kingdom reside beneath their land. In ancient times, the surrounding lands were all under the control of the sovereign Ndipaya kingdom, and the city of ruins is the seat of that monarch. Special attention should be given to the way the sovereign was chosen. While the Ndipaya did have a monarchy, the king was not decided by birthright, but by the abilities and qualities he displayed during a certain required ceremony. This ceremony employed a special plant that grew in the Sun Garden, residing in the deepest area of the royal city. Hold on, are you seriously gonna make it Black Panther here?
I was just gonna say, I joked about it being the heart-shaped herb when we were in the thing, but now it's just actually Black Panther.
Oh, great. I mean, I feel like it would have been more difficult for us to infiltrate Wakanda, but...
I think Wakanda could probably just cure Plagas.
Yeah. Here, take this pill, you'll feel better tomorrow.
It's made of vibranium, and somehow that works.
Yes. This plant was known as the Stairway to the Sun. Did I skip a page? No, I did not. The Stairway to the Sun was an extremely poisonous plant, and its effects were fatal if consumed, though some individuals possessed a natural resistance to the poison. The Ndipaya believed that a man who could prevail against the poison was destined to become king. Vestiges of this ceremony are still carried out once a year by the Ndipaya for the continual peace of their ancestors' spirits. Even with a natural resistance, finding an individual that could survive ingestion of the powerful poison was a rarity. It is said by the Ndipaya people that one such man reigned as king for hundreds of years. Huh. That's very strange. Whether this legend has any validity to it cannot be ascertained at present. What is known is that this once flourishing kingdom fell into decline and was eventually abandoned by the Ndipaya people. It is not known what made the Ndipaya abandon their city for the wetlands. Any information regarding these matters comes from oral traditions and hearsay, which obviously calls into question the validity of the information. What is known, though, is that after leaving the city, the Ndipaya viewed it as sacred ground and vowed to keep its existence hidden from outsiders. All Ndipaya males between the ages of 13 and 25 are required to spend 2 years in the city to guard and protect it. It is through their continued vigilance that this great city's existence has been kept undiscovered by the outside world. There was, however, one instance of outsiders discovering their secret city. It's followed by Sacred City in the next line, so I got confused. In the 1960s, a corporation went into the Sacred City to find the plant used in their ceremonies and take it by force. The Ndipaya fiercely resisted this incursion into their land. That's a period, sorry. In times of peace, the Ndipaya are builders of great renown, but when the need for war arises, they can become stout warriors. This adaptability is the essence of the Ndipaya. Their physical prowess in battle was their greatest weapon, and they used it to fight bravely. But they were overwhelmed by the enemy's technological advantages. During this time, many of the Ndipaya youths consumed the plant in an effort to fight off the invaders. In the end, the Ndipaya were forced to cede the area of the Sun Garden and beyond to the corporation's control. But the Ndipaya have not yet given up hope of one day reclaiming their sacred land and returning it to its former glory.
I got bad news for you.
Yeah, it doesn't seem really likely anymore. I'm kind of stuck on this thing back here where it says, they decide the king by the abilities and qualities he displayed during a certain required ceremony.
Uh-huh.
It's the word required there that confuses me, since if you eat the plant, you either die or become king. Who exactly is this required of?
Well, they also said they did this like once a year. They think the ceremony helps the situation.
Hmm.
And they also said they have like a natural resistance to the poisons, and most of them still die.
Yes.
So like, they think they're like calling on the spirits to, hey, let me live through this one.
Maybe the required ceremony just means if you want to become king, do this thing.
Yeah, maybe.
And since that didn't take very long, all things considered, we're also going to learn about U-8.
That's like 6 generations from the current U2.
It's a time-traveling pop band come back to save us.
Nobody remembers U1.
Yeah. They never made it out of the garage stage. It was a prototype. U-8 is name of the BOW born from a weapons development project involving Las Plagas. I'm going to assume that was a typo. The creature is comprised of the refined DNA of multiple organisms, specifically the DNA of shelled organisms. The alterations to this aspect of the creature is reflected in its dark coloring. I feel like this particular entry might not have been translated especially well, with the two errors on the same page.
Their crackshot translator was afraid of spiders.
Of course. The carapace has an unparalleled durability and was shown to be resistant to a direct hit from RPGs in tests. This gigantic creature has another special feature in its design. U-8 is some tens of meters tall, and its pincer legs are over 3 meters in length, which it uses as a weapon in close combat. These pincer attacks are not especially quick, but they are powerful enough to pierce the armor of a tank. Damn. Flying BOWs reside in the part of U-8's abdomen originally intended for the maturation of eggs in an unaltered specimen. These flying BOWs are not larval U-8s, but completely different creatures entirely. In a close-quarter one-on-one fight, U-8 is an overwhelmingly powerful adversary, but when it has to combat more than one opponent, its large size becomes somewhat of a liability. Its considerable bulk also makes it vulnerable to long-range attacks. To compensate for this weakness, it uses the flying BOWs in much the same way an aircraft carrier uses jet fighters. That's a very good analogy. Some would consider U-8 an impeccable fighting machine, but it does have its flaws. U-8's size can be a detriment because it requires massive amounts of sustenance to maintain functionality. As such, U-8 is not suitable for long-term assignments. According to Tricell's business information, U-8 is most effective as security for a facility or when used in attacks of limited time. Before it can be used in an offensive attack, consideration must be given to the means of transporting U-8 to the destination. I can see that being a problem. You can't exactly just throw that thing in a helicopter.
I wouldn't want to be in that helicopter, all things considered.
Maybe a train.
That worked out so well for the bat thing.
Yeah. Also, U-8 is designed to reach a large size very rapidly, and this breeds imperfections in its carapace. These imperfections are limited to a certain area of the carapace, but a direct attack on this area will severely damage U-8. Even with these flaws, U-8's functionality, combat effectiveness, and relative ease to control have made it popular in the bioweapons market. Oh, good! There is more than one of these things. They had already reached the sales point. Records indicate that Ricardo Irving has sold a multitude of both the original U-8 and the upgraded version, U-8 Prime, which has a multi-layered carapace for extra defense, along with shell covering formerly exposed areas.
So not only is there more than one, there's a better version of one.
Well, we have that to look forward to, I guess. There were plans at one point to design a lighter, faster U-8 that could maintain functionality for longer periods of time, but this would result in a significant downgrade in its defensive capabilities. This plan appears to have been scrapped. Chris Redfield and Sheva Alomar reported imperfections in the carapace of the U-8 they faced, so it is suspected that it was one of the original models. Note that the U in U-8 does not stand for Ouroboros, but for ultimate. Odd note to end it on.
You know what's really getting me about this?
What's that?
The various ways they describe it makes it sound like it's not a zombie thing like some of the other monsters in the Resident Evil franchise. This was like a more or less ordinary organism that reproduces through mating. I mean, they made it in the lab, but like, it kind of sounds like if they left it alone, it'd do all right.
That's kind of horrifying.
Yeah, that's sort of what I was getting at.
Well, on that cheery note, I guess we've come to the end of this lore video. I'm BurningDogFace.
I'm Ronin Drake.
And we'll see you on the next episode of Let's Both Play Resident Evil 5. Later.